Something happened inside Windsor Castle that reportedly left diplomats stunned, royal aides scrambling, and Queen Camilla facing one of the most uncomfortable moments of the entire evening. And according to several reports, the person at the center of it all wasn't a political figure, a foreign guest, or even a senior royal. It was Camilla's own daughter. At first, nobody seemed to notice anything unusual. The reception was unfolding exactly as planned. Crystal chandeliers illuminated St. George's Hall. Ambassadors exchanged polite conversation, and King Charles appeared determined to project an image of stability and unity. But then witnesses claimed the atmosphere suddenly began to change. Guests reportedly started exchanging glances. Conversations became shorter. Palace staff appeared noticeably more alert, and before long, people were quietly asking the same question. Had a routine royal reception just turned into a public embarrassment unfolding in real time? What happened next is the part that has generated the most controversy. Some reports suggest comments were made that left several guests visibly uncomfortable. Others claim royal protocol itself became the subject of jokes at exactly the wrong place and exactly the wrong time. And if those accounts are accurate, the reaction from key members of the royal family may have been even more revealing than the incident itself. So what exactly happened inside Windsor Castle that night? Why are some observers claiming it exposed deeper tensions within royal circles? And what role did Catherine, Camilla, and King Charles reportedly play as the situation unfolded? Let's break down the entire story from the beginning. The evening was reportedly meant to be one of those perfectly polished royal gatherings where everyone smiles, exchanges pleasantries, enjoys fine wine, and acts as if there's zero drama behind palace doors. Ambassadors, aristocrats, and distinguished guests filled Windsor Castle for the occasion. Reports say St. George's Hall looked stunning, with glowing chandeliers lighting up enormous banquet tables while musicians played softly in the background. Everything seemed carefully managed, elegant, and completely under control, at least at first. That perfect image, however, may not have lasted as long as organizers had hoped, because among the guests that evening was someone whose presence alone had already sparked curiosity long before the first toast was raised. One detail that immediately got people talking was Laura Lopez being there at all. Laura has usually kept a low profile and stayed away from major royal duties. She has never appeared eager to become a high-profile royal figure, preferring a much more private life. However, according to reports, Camilla had been encouraging Laura to attend this reception for weeks beforehand. That alone sparked curiosity, with many observers wondering what it might reveal about the family's internal dynamics and social circles behind the scenes. At the start of the evening, everything appeared smooth and professional. Laura reportedly arrived looking elegant, dressed appropriately for the event, smiling and chatting with guests. But as the night moved on, witnesses claimed the atmosphere around her began to shift. Drinks continued to be served, conversations carried on, and some attendees reportedly noticed changes in her behavior. According to accounts from those present, she became louder and less reserved as the evening progressed. Reports also claim that some of her remarks drew attention and were viewed by certain guests as out of place for a room filled with diplomats, senior royal figures, and high-level attendees. At one point, reports claimed Laura was even making light of royal protocol itself, which many observers considered a risky move at Windsor Castle of all places. There were also allegations that she made dismissive remarks about palace staff while international guests were standing close enough to hear. According to accounts from the event, that was when the mood in the room began to change noticeably. Guests reportedly started creating distance. Conversations became more strained, and people exchanged those quiet, knowing glances that usually appear when an uncomfortable situation is unfolding in public. No one wanted to address it openly, but many seemed aware that something awkward was happening right in front of them. Reports suggest that even Camilla appeared concerned, as she tried to maintain a composed public image while surrounded by diplomats and distinguished visitors. Across the hall, Catherine was reportedly carrying on with her usual duties, greeting guests, smiling, and keeping the event running smoothly. But according to several accounts, she had already noticed the growing tension surrounding Laura. This part of the story is one reason many royal watchers later praised Catherine's handling of the situation, while others appeared hesitant to get involved. Reports suggest she believed someone needed to act before the evening became an even bigger embarrassment for the monarchy. What stands out is that Catherine reportedly didn't rush over or create a dramatic spectacle. Instead, accounts describe her approach as calm, measured, and direct. People nearby allegedly sensed something important was happening simply from her demeanor as she crossed the room. Witnesses claim the atmosphere shifted almost instantly. By then, Laura was reportedly struggling to maintain the same level of composure she had shown earlier in the evening. Several observers described her as trying to project confidence while finding it increasingly difficult to stay fully in control. Then came the moment that generated so much discussion afterward. According to reports, Catherine leaned in and spoke to Laura privately in a firm but controlled manner. There are no claims of shouting or a public confrontation. In fact, many accounts emphasize how discreet the interaction was. Palace gossip later suggested that Catherine essentially conveyed that it was time for Laura to leave before the situation escalated further, and reflected poorly on everyone involved. Witnesses claimed the message landed immediately, and the energy around them changed at once. Reports even suggest that Charles was paying close attention as nearby guests watched carefully, realizing this had become much bigger than an uncomfortable moment at a royal banquet. By that stage, the situation had reportedly grown into something much larger than an awkward moment at a royal reception. According to commentators and palace observers, it raised questions about authority within the royal family and who King Charles relied on when public events started drifting off course. Reports suggest that what concerned Charles most was not simply the behavior being discussed, but the fact that the distraction was unfolding during an important diplomatic gathering. The royal family has weathered personal controversies before, but when family-related tensions begin drawing attention away from official state functions in front of international guests, the stakes become much higher. Witnesses claimed Charles appeared aware of the shift in the room. Diplomats were reportedly speaking quietly among themselves. Senior guests seemed increasingly uncomfortable, and palace staff were said to be working hard to keep everything running smoothly despite the growing tension. According to insiders, Charles may have recognized that the longer the situation remained unresolved, the more attention it would attract and the more damaging it could become for the event itself. The focus was no longer on diplomacy or royal hospitality. It was becoming a story of its own. Then came the moment that continues to spark debate among royal watchers. Reports allege that rather than publicly taking sides, Charles signaled for aides and staff to help move the situation along so the reception could continue without further disruption. Importantly, accounts do not describe a dramatic confrontation or anyone being forcibly removed. Instead, sources say everything was handled quietly, professionally, and away from public attention. Even so, many observers viewed the symbolism as significant because it appeared to show Charles prioritizing the institution and the success of the event above personal considerations. Sources also claim Camilla was surprised by how events unfolded. If those reports are accurate, some royal commentators believe the moment would have been especially difficult, given her long journey toward acceptance within the monarchy and her efforts over the years to establish her place within royal life. Because of that history, any perception that support was shifting elsewhere naturally attracted attention and fueled speculation. After Camilla reportedly departed from the hall, witnesses said the atmosphere began to settle almost immediately. Conversations gradually restarted, guests appeared more relaxed, and attention returned to the reception itself. Then, according to several accounts, Charles made another move that generated days of discussion afterward. Witnesses claimed he walked directly toward Catherine and stood beside her, where everyone could see. That image quickly became one of the most talked about details from the evening, with many royal observers interpreting it as a visible sign of confidence in Catherine's judgment and leadership during a difficult moment. Reports claim that, as the evening continued, Charles highlighted qualities like discipline, loyalty, and putting the institution first while speaking with guests. He reportedly never mentioned Camilla directly, but many insiders believed the message was clear enough without naming anyone. Those comments quickly became a major talking point, with royal watchers and palace observers analyzing every detail and wondering whether they carried a deeper meaning. In the days that followed, gossip surrounding the event reportedly exploded. According to various reports, Laura Lopez became far less visible in the social circles where she had previously appeared. Some claimed invitations became less frequent, while others suggested the Windsor incident followed her reputation wherever the story was discussed. Whether those claims were completely accurate or simply fueled by speculation is difficult to confirm, but the story spread rapidly and became one of the most talked about royal rumors of the period. Camilla also reportedly stepped back from the spotlight for a time. Observers claimed she appeared more reserved during certain public engagements, leading to speculation about whether her standing within palace circles had changed. Officially, however, nothing unusual was acknowledged. The palace never confirmed reports of tension or disagreement, leaving much of the story in the realm of insider accounts and ongoing speculation. Meanwhile, Catherine's image appeared to grow stronger as the narrative developed. According to reports, several diplomats and guests were impressed by how calm and composed she remained throughout the evening. For many observers, that became the defining takeaway from the event. Rather than simply appearing polished and elegant, Catherine was increasingly viewed as someone capable of handling pressure during difficult public moments. What kept the story alive was the contrast people continued debating afterward. Some saw Camilla as a mother standing by her daughter during an uncomfortable situation. Others believed Catherine was focused on protecting the institution and maintaining order during an important diplomatic event. That difference in perspective became the heart of the debate, and it remains one of the main reasons the story continues to attract attention today. Either way, the Windsor reception ended up reinforcing something many royal watchers had been discussing for years. Catherine was no longer seen as simply Prince William's wife learning the ropes of royal life. According to reports and commentary that followed the event, more people began viewing her as one of the monarchy's most dependable figures and a key part of its future. That shift in perception became one of the biggest talking points to emerge from the entire controversy. Before this incident, Catherine had already built a strong reputation through years of public service, careful appearances, and a disciplined approach to royal duties. She rarely became involved in public disputes and generally avoided the kind of headlines that create unnecessary problems for the institution. But after Windsor, many observers felt the conversation changed. Instead of being praised mainly for her popularity and public image, she was increasingly described as someone who appeared ready for the responsibilities that come with becoming queen one day. That distinction mattered to many people following the royal family. Public popularity can rise and fall quickly, but being viewed as someone capable of handling pressure during difficult situations is a different kind of reputation altogether. According to reports, that was the lesson many insiders took away from the evening. The focus was no longer just on who was liked the most. It became a discussion about leadership, judgment, and maintaining stability when events become uncomfortable. In the days that followed, rumors reportedly spread throughout palace circles, aristocratic gatherings, and royal commentary networks across London. Officially, however, nothing changed. The palace maintained its familiar approach: no dramatic statements, no public disputes, and no confirmation of the many stories being discussed. As often happens with royal controversies, silence only encouraged more speculation. According to insider accounts, Charles was particularly concerned that personal tensions may have distracted from an important diplomatic event. Reports suggest that preserving the monarchy's image and maintaining order during official functions remained his top priority. For many commentators, that was a key part of the story. The monarchy relies heavily on discipline, structure, and public confidence, and any disruption during a major event naturally attracts attention. What makes the situation especially interesting is that much of the debate was not about why Catherine became involved in the first place. Even some people who were sympathetic to Camilla reportedly agreed that concerns had emerged during the evening. The larger argument centered on whether the situation could have been handled differently and whether the reactions that followed made matters worse. Supporters of Camilla argued that many parents would instinctively defend their child in a difficult and highly public moment. Others believed that once tensions became visible during the reception, the focus shifted away from a private family matter and toward a broader question about unity within the royal household. That perception fueled intense discussion because, from the perspective of many observers, the event suddenly appeared to reflect deeper divisions inside the monarchy. Meanwhile, Catherine reportedly continued carrying out her duties in the same calm and measured way that had helped shape her public image for years, further strengthening the reputation that emerged from the Windsor controversy. No public statements, no visible celebrations, and no emotional responses. According to reports from people familiar with palace circles, Catherine simply returned to her usual schedule, carried out her engagements, and avoided adding anything to the public conversation. Ironically, many royal watchers felt that this quiet approach only strengthened her image even further. Instead of becoming part of the controversy, she reportedly stayed focused on her responsibilities and let the attention fade on its own. After the Windsor reception, observers also began paying closer attention to the smaller details that often spark speculation inside royal circles. People reportedly analyzed seating arrangements, event planning decisions, public appearances, and even which senior royals seemed to have the king's ear most often. According to palace gossip, Catherine's team was believed by some insiders to have gained greater influence in future planning discussions, while others speculated that Camilla's role behind the scenes became slightly less prominent. None of these claims were ever officially confirmed, but they fueled plenty of discussion among royal followers. As always, the monarchy maintained its usual silence. There were no public announcements, no dramatic explanations, and no effort to address every rumor circulating in the media. Power within royal institutions is often viewed as something that shifts gradually through trust, access, and influence rather than through public declarations. According to those following the story closely, that is why so many people became fascinated with what they believed was happening behind closed doors. Meanwhile, reports suggested that Laura Lopez remained largely out of the spotlight after the event. Many commentators felt that keeping a low profile was probably the most practical decision under the circumstances. By that point, the story had spread so widely that any major public appearance could have reignited debate and brought the entire controversy back into the headlines once again. In the end, the Windsor banquet became much more than a story about one uncomfortable evening. For many observers, it symbolized a larger transition taking place within the monarchy itself. While Charles remains king, growing numbers of royal supporters view William and Catherine as the future public face of the institution. Whether every report surrounding the event was accurate, exaggerated, or somewhere in between, one narrative continued to dominate afterward. Catherine emerged looking calm, disciplined, and prepared for future leadership responsibilities. That is ultimately why the story continued generating attention. Many people were not just discussing what happened at a royal reception. They were debating who appeared best equipped to guide the monarchy through difficult moments. Supporters viewed Catherine's response as evidence of strong leadership, while opinions about Camilla remained divided. Some sympathized with her position as a mother, while others believed the situation raised broader questions about judgment and public responsibility. And that debate continues to resonate because it connects to bigger conversations about the future direction of the modern royal family. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Who do you think handled the situation best? Join the discussion and let us know what you think.